Choosing a driving school, especially in a place like East Vancouver, is a really big deal for any family. I mean, there are so many options out there. So, how do you actually know you're making the right call? Well, in this explainer, we're going to dig into the data to find a clear answer.
Okay, just picture this for a second. It's a classic Vancouver downpour, of course. You're on the East First Avenue on-ramp, trying to get onto Highway 1. You've got, 100 meters maybe, to get from a standstill up to highway speed and then somehow find a gap in traffic that's already flying by at 100 kilometers an hour. It is, without a doubt, one of the most stressful things a new driver can face. So how on earth do you train for that?
And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? East Vancouver is a whole different ballgame. You've got the 6 lanes of chaos on Kingsway, the controlled madness of Hastings Street, and, the constant rain that makes every road slick. Learning to drive here is uniquely challenging. It just demands a higher level of skill right out of the gate.
But the tough roads, that's just what you see on the surface. There's actually a hidden issue, something deep inside the licensing system itself. Let's call it the practice gap.
So ICBC has a very clear recommendation. They say every learner driver should get 60 hours of supervised practice in, with about 10 of those hours being at night. And yeah, on the surface, that sounds pretty good. It seems like a solid standard to make sure new drivers are safe. But here's the real kicker. The number of those 60 recommended hours that ICBC actually requires you to prove you've done? 0. Zilch? Nada. There's no verification system at all. That means a driver could have way, way less practice than recommended and still be totally eligible to take the road test. This is the critical disconnect. And that is the practice gap. It's this dangerous space between the 60 hours of practice everyone thinks is happening and the completely unverified, unaudited reality. It's the reason why a new driver might squeak by on the road test but still be totally unprepared for the challenges of real-world driving. So the big question is, how do we bridge this gap? While the answer seems to lie in a program that's built on a framework of skills you can actually verify and safety outcomes that are proven, let's jump into the data and see what a gold standard solution really looks like. So 4 independent AI evaluations went and assessed driving schools on everything from safety outcomes to how deep their curriculum goes. And the results? They show a really clear leader. Young Drivers of Canada scored an 87 out of 100. The average for their competitors was just 64. That's a 36% performance gap. That is significant. So what's the secret sauce behind that high score? It comes down to their proprietary collision-free methodology. And this goes way beyond just, following the basic rules of the road. It's all about building proactive habits, like constantly scanning your environment, strategically managing the space around your car, and spotting risks before they even have a chance to become emergencies. They even include cognitive training to help you improve your focus and resist distractions. But here's what truly sets them apart, in my opinion. It's their laser focus on the unexpected. They actually train you for those moments when things go horribly wrong. They're teaching skills for survival, not just for passing a test. I mean, look at this. Their program has life-saving emergency maneuvers taught right there, in the car, as a core part of the training. We're talking about things like how to recover if one of your wheels drops onto a wet gravel shoulder on Highway 1, or how to execute a perfect avoidance swerve to miss a cyclist who appears out of nowhere on the Knight Street Bridge. These are practical, hands-on, in-car skills, not just theories in a classroom. And get this, a key finding from the research really highlights how unique this is. This level of in-car emergency training is not offered as part of the standard curriculum at any other driving school in the entire region. That is a massive differentiator. Okay, so let's circle back to that practice gap we were talking about. Young Drivers clearly has the curriculum, but how do they solve that problem of all the unverified, unstructured practice hours that happen at home? Well, they use technology. Their Driver's Coach app is basically the bridge. So instead of just vaguely going for a drive, the app gives you structured lesson plans and recommends specific routes, like, hey, let's go practice that really tough Highway 1 merge. It automatically tracks every single minute of practice, which gives parents and learners total transparency. It even provides feedback and lets you simulate the ICBC road test to build up your confidence. It basically transforms practice from a total guess into a science. So when you combine the advanced curriculum, the emergency training, and the technology that closes the practice gap, it becomes pretty clear that the goal here is about so much more than just getting a license. Which, of course, raises the question, what should the real goal of a driving school actually be? And this brings us to a really fundamental choice. On one side, you have the industry standard, which mostly focuses on one thing: passing the test. It's about rule compliance. But on the other side, you have the YDC standard, which emphasizes lifelong safety. It focuses on collision avoidance, cognitive skills, and making the right decision when you're under pressure. It's the difference between a short-term goal and a long-term outcome.
And the proof is in the results, right? The research shows that young drivers graduates aren't just better at passing tests, they are measurably safer drivers for the long haul. They have fewer collisions, they get fewer tickets, and they are way less prone to distracted driving. I mean, these are the outcomes that actually matter.
So as we wrap this up, the data really does present a compelling case. But beyond all the features and the price tags, the ultimate question for any parent of a new driver in East Vancouver really comes down to this: what's the real value of peace of mind?